What's good, YouTube? Random rant. I just watched Tyler Perry's The Fall from Grace. Dope movie. Like, oh my goodness. I really enjoyed it. And then it was so disheartening to see people like, oh, it's Tyler Perry movie again. He makes the same movie. He always did that. Always makes the black man this, and it's always the black woman there. Like, the same complaints. I don't like Tyler Perry for spiritual reasons and witchcraft reasons, for the same reasons I don't like a lot of the Hollywood people, because of the evil they do behind closed doors, the pure diabolical nature of who they are. But their actual works, man, you got to enjoy the time in the meantime while we're waiting for some bigger shit to go down. His movies, I am a huge fan of Tyler Perry movies, not him. He can go burn wherever, I don't care. But his movies, I will not knock his work. And it's irritating that black people are always complaining about, oh, he's always portraying black men in the same way. He's always portraying black people in the same way. My response to that is like, shut the fuck up. Like, black Americans, I find to be sometimes some of the most irritating motherfuckers. Shut the fuck up. You're regular black Americans, you don't do nothing black for yourselves. But you want everybody to come and do black shit for you. It'd be a bunch of black ass bitches with white girl hair, and they have tried their best to look like a white girl. They're not doing anything black oriented in their life, but they have the nerve to get mad that somebody made a movie and it didn't represent black people. Bitch, you don't represent black people. And it's normally black women that's complaining. You don't hear a lot of the complaints coming from black men. It's normally black women. If a black man was to complain about it, I would tell him the same thing. Nigga, you are not carrying yourself like an actual black man. You don't get to then be mad, but it's mostly black women. You walking around here chasing this white girl aesthetic all day long. It be bitches in weaves complaining that, oh, he's always showing black people in a wrong light. Every day you leave home, black woman, you show black women in a bad light. If you cannot even walk out the house in your own natural aesthetic. You don't get to claim black love and black pride, but you're scared of your aesthetic. How stupid. If I were to walk out here with a blonde wig and I contour my nose and I did the makeup to make it look so sharp and pointy. Makeup to highlight my skin, but then I get on camera every day and tell you how much I love blackness and how black power is so good and black people is just, we are so beautiful and blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't blame anybody that calls me a fucking joke on this internet. I wouldn't. So when I hear black women and all the complaints, it's like, can we have people have their own niche? That stupid word trips me up. Can we have people or leave people alone to have their own niche and their own lane? For black people to be, especially women, it's the women that I see and I read a lot of the complaints. To expect one black man to do all black things is psychotic. And it just shows how black people just have not done much in America. Because when one does it, you're just looking for this one to do everything. Why don't y'all figure out how to get more of you doing shit? A different story for a different day. And miss me with, oh, well, white man and America's system and da-da-da. You guys, like, you pick and choose when you want to use that argument. Miss me with that. If you're going to use that argument, use it all the way. Because sometimes when you bring that argument, it'll be black people, especially now, black men, they're like, well, I'm not a victim and I don't want to think like a victim. But then when you tell them, okay, well, then why aren't you building a nation the way white men came here and built a nation? Why can't you do the same thing for yourself? They'll be the first ones to talk about, well, there's oppressive racism and, we started, slavery took a hold and that. Oh, so you can pick and choose when the issue of slavery and black oppression, like you can pick and choose when you want to use that as an excuse for you. But when you want to feel like, when you want to feel comfortable around white people, like you're equal to white men, which you're fucking not, but you want to use it to feel you're like, oh, I'm not a victim. You want to feel like that bigger person that's not trying to be complaining, but complaining about black oppression is not complaining about black oppression. You're demanding justice. And the fact that you guys don't is why America keeps punking you guys, because they know you guys should be demanding shit. They know it. They would have been doing it. Why do you think they've paid Holocaust survivors reparations? They paid I think it was Pearl Harbor. They know when they've done wrong and they know when compensation is necessary. They know black people compensation is necessary, but black people are out here trying too hard to act like we're not victims, but you're the most victim, the most victimized. You are the ones that should be demanding the most. But y'all so punk out here. You're not doing it and you're not like, oh, I'm not a victim out of pride and out of a strong place. You're doing it because you don't have the heart to go after what you want. You don't have the heart to go and face a white man and demand what you want. You don't have the heart to go and stand up to police. You don't have the heart to go stand up to the government. So instead of doing what you should be doing, standing up for yourself, because you know you can't, you would just justify like, oh, it doesn't bother me anyways. I'm doing me. The country's history, it doesn't affect me. Yeah, okay. But anyways, side note, back to the Tyler Perry movie. You can't expect one black man to do all genres. Like, people have their own lane. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes creativity fun. That's what makes it fun when I could be watching a random movie and as I'm watching it, I'm like, this feels like a Spike Lee movie. And sure enough, you get to the end, boom, it's a Spike Lee movie, Spike Lee joint. You could be watching a movie and I'm like, damn, this feels like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. And you get to the end, boom, it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. You be watching a movie in the middle of it, it's like, man, this feels like a Quentin Tarantino flick. And sure enough, you get to the end and it's like, boom, Quentin Tarantino. The same way you're watching a movie and in the middle of it, you're like, this feels like a Tyler Perry flick. And you get to the end and boom, it's Tyler Perry. There's nothing wrong with that. But to be expecting Tyler Perry to make his kind of movies, make documentary kind of movies, make comedic kind of movies that, show kumbaya blackness, and for him to also make the historical black movie, and he's supposed to make the progressive black movie, and he's supposed to do, like, nigga, fuck out of here. People have their own lane. People have their own lane. People have their own lane, and that's the beauty of the world. Everybody represents what they represent. You cannot, even just take my channel, for example, on Nado's Thoughts. I'm not really on here a lot, really just spewing positive kumbaya and hope and love and shit like that. There's a bunch of other channels that do that. Great. You can feed off those ones, and you can also feed off mine that'll give you some real shit. My message is more hard than it is soft, I'll put it that way. It's more aggressive than it is comforting. It's more repelling than it is like enduring. My channel is not for the weak. And it is for those that it's definitely for a unique experience. I'll put it that way. I don't come at you with fluffy thoughts. Not at all. Because this world is it's not that. I'm not trying to condition you guys to relax. If anything, I'm trying to shake that shit up out of you and let you guys know, like, you gotta wake up, man. It's time for us to move and do something in this world. But the same way my channel exists and is necessary, the other lady who's talking to you about comforting things and uplifting things and soft and sweet and, God is great type of things, that's also necessary. And it might suit somebody. It would feed somebody. That message might not work for some, and it will work for some. The same way with creators. If Tyler Perry's niche is this, then let the nigga be. But it's just irritating when I'm just over black people and black women complaining every time about, people don't do things for black women. But then you look at how they carry themselves and you're just like, what are you talking about? Y'all support all these prostitutes. Like, you have the nerve to support bitches like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and gorilla bitches. These whores that do nothing but spread ass cheeks in your face. You have no problem supporting them and how they represent black culture. But you have a problem with Tyler Perry making movies? That's just, hey, fuck it, entertainment for us black people? You're talking about, this is bad represent. Nigga, we black people will know what the fuck is in our culture and what we do. Who gives a fuck? It's entertaining. It's fun to watch a thriller with just black people. It is. So to hear black women always bitching like, everything is supposed to be positive and feed goodness. Bitch, you ain't good. The fuck, I'm trying to stop cursing. Forgive me for all the bad language on this video. But fuck. Because I was just reading something and a notification came on my phone and it was like, despite how good the movie did, people were still critiquing it. People in the black community were still critiquing it as this. And it was just like, shut the fuck up. These silly ass black women in this culture, if you can even call it a culture, weaves all day long, desperate to look like white girls, but you mad at Tyler Perry making the movie. You don't like it, I don't know. Ugh. On one hand, I understand why maybe, but for me, I don't look at it that way. I just look at it like it's a movie, nigga. It's entertainment. Nobody's bitching when white people make psychotic movies. That's the fact that black people always complain about these kind of things. It's an insecurity in black people as to how we're perceived. And I understand it because black people are always perceived wrong. So it's like you're so sensitive with being perceived further incorrectly. I get it. It's a sensitivity. But if you don't have that sensitivity or that insecurity about how you are perceived, like, hey man, fuck it. You don't see white people worrying when they make this white psycho movie. You don't see white people like, oh, they're representing us in a bad light. And now white people are the majority. I get it. But my point is, black women have no room. Maybe if black women were walking around and carrying themselves in a different light and in a different energy, different aesthetic, different mindset, different beliefs, different music. Like maybe if black women were carrying themselves differently, I can kind of, really now reason and understand with where they're coming from. But you cannot be carrying yourselves the way you carry yourselves on this planet. My God. Like what? Y'all begging to look like white girls, but you're mad about how a black person is represented? Why don't you try looking like a black person first before you worry how somebody is representing you? You scared to represent a black person, but you mad that somebody else is doing something else? That's entertainment and that's his lane? Like what? Yet it'd be you same bitches if this same man was now going to try to make a movie that was totally different. You'll be like, he trying to do too much. He should stay in his lane. I'm just over like black people, man. Freak. Just stand for something, man. Stand for something better. Stand for something. That's my issue. Stand for something. Like, my God, you cannot be walking around with the aesthetics you women put on every day. Just clown shit. The music you guys support, horse shit, prostitute music, the mentality you guys believe in, fuck men and fuck niggas, I don't need a man, I do da. And you're worried about somebody representing you guys wrong? You do that all by yourself. Like black women, you represent yourselves wrong all by yourself. Nobody else has come and done it for you. You woke up and you chose that violence for yourself. But you want to be mad that somebody want to make a movie. Unbelievable.